Sylvie Zinkos. I am Komori Uta Kitsune, the Lullaby Fox. I'm so happy to see you here, and I hope we can have lots and lots of fun together. I am unable to speak, so I have my familiar Dunya to help me out. I also use text-to-speech. So, let's have some good, wholesome, and chill fun together. Let's play!
I think I got this go live just in time for that.
Oh no.
You know what?
Cute.
That makes it convenient.
Yeah, okay. So we're all ready to play. This is a homebrew campaign which I've come up with called Lost Eden Recurrence. You are essentially underground, not exactly the Underdark, but this caged off little free tribe union. And as far back as history can tell, you've all been underground. No one has gone to the surface. There's been little evidence of really anything up there. However, overpopulation and pollution and just lack of resources is now driving people to go to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
You all get a sense that life would be better up there. There's also a lingering idea, as you would all be briefed. It's somewhat of a morale boost for the population. Not that the organization backing you wants you to fail, but they don't truly believe that this is even a possible task. However, this actually plays into the favor of the common folk, so a lot of people are rooting for this to work. To akin it to something in real life, this is an event similar to like the moon landing. You're going into a space untouched by your culture, and you don't know what's there.
Wait, does that mean there's gonna be people that think it's fake?
Potentially.
We have to film it that way.
Conspiracy theorists.
The organization, the land you're on is called Yard Karl. The organization are the free tribes of Kodar, which is a mining tribe. They make a lot of the magic items, also where a lot of the war forges would be primarily crafted. We have Strath, the main capital, with tall Gothic-like buildings stretching up far into the sky with little crystals almost illuminating like starlight. And UCAP, which is primarily a farming tribe, a lot of the land being not for population but for food. This hit a point where they turned to factories and mass producing food, so a lot of pollution started going into the air. While helping with the food problem, it also caused a lot of health problems as well. This is life for you. It's this underground place with each person probably being given or allotted around 20 foot of living space each. Yeah, 20 foot of foot each for like living space, and we're gonna go around to everyone, each of you being tasked as the people leading this expedition. You will be the first people on the surface in generations. So we're gonna go around. As we dive down into the streets below, there's a town crier calling out, telling people to look to their left and right, count the people, the 10 people to the left, 10 people to the right, of which 5 of which will probably die from poverty, not having enough food to keep themselves alive, not having fresh water, not having the money to keep themselves alive. Another 2 dying of overpopulation. They just don't have the living space to really live, and they get almost crushed under the weight of the town, of the city itself. Another 8 of which would likely be drafted into some kind of military expedition, which there's a sense that a lot of that is fabricated. Almost people drafted in to these fake military kind of, crafted wars to limit population to an extent. As he kind of says that, a bunch of the guards nearby kind of clench onto their swords and ready their weapons a little bit as he eases up. Like, the remainder will live a happy life, but that's not enough. And he then goes on and pitches his clerical division. There's very little divine intervention here, but some clerics can feel the powers of the divine, and he seems to be claiming that he is one of them. We'll go around as a little mouse is scuttering by, possibly with parchments under their arm and research notes on potential things, just a bunch of study books as they scamper by to their home. Cats, what are you doing?
Trying to figure out which bot to mute. God, the music was scaring me. I was scared. This is like horror movie music. Alright, so shall I introduce myself?
Yeah, introduce your character. You're heading back to your family's home, so what's happening?
Alright, so first off, you see a little candy colored mouse girl thing with a metal arm being her most notable trait. And she probably has, like, if she's carrying research notes, she probably has one in her mouth as well, and her tail's holding some more as well. Like, she's looking very disheveled, disorganized. Her goggles are kind of on her head, like, haphazardly, because, like any good old artificer, she has goggles. Safety first, we don't want OSHA violations. Let me go back to this real quick. And she has brown eyes and like a platinum tuft of hair on top of her head. And she's overall looking like one determined, powerful bitch. But at the same time, she could barely carry herself. So it's a tough life for this mouse.
Mm-hmm. And if you could, where are you going? And as you kind of enter into your home, what does that look like to you?
Well, it's a home is the hole in the wall between, like, my adoptive parents' feet, like, between them. Because they're big ol' Goliaths. So I could just kind of, like, squeeze in with them. We're not really the higher echelons.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of at the bottom of the barrel.
So yeah,
So it's
like
a pretty tight squeeze.
Each person is allotted like 20 foot of space, but that doesn't change depending on your size. That's the space you're given, and for a Goliath, or your parents they've probably been there, like, squashed into a single space for so long, they've become part of the room itself.
Exactly. But, it's home. Like, she feels somewhat safe and protected there.
As you get in, what are you doing?
Like sorting all my notes in the little corner, and probably gonna try like, you know, like do maintenance on my arm, because the arm is not made with the highest grade of materials. It's kind of like I needed a metal arm and I needed its stat. I needed a prosthetic and I needed stat, so I had to make it.
Yeah, and as you kind of go through your note and you're tinkering along with your arm, itself, like you said, like fairly not great material. It's just what you could get.
Yeah.
A finger is gonna kind of come down, almost the size of your body, and it's gonna kind of, as it bends down, as these two Goliaths would have just been almost welded in place, their hands, maybe on purpose, bound together. It's rare that it starts moving. As it does, like there's a rumbling sound, but that's fairly common to you. You're not super alarmed by that. It comes down and just kind of strokes you on your head, and with a single finger, like kind of pulls up the scarf which is dangling down your back.
She's gonna kind of like reach up towards the finger and hold on to it, like giving it a hug.
What do you have there?
Is she talking about my notes and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, these are just research notes. Kind of trying to make this old thing. She's gonna like wave her metal arm around. Work better. No, it isn't perfect, but it's functioning.
We're all hoping that you'll find something up above that could help make it a bit better.
Yeah. And hey, maybe you could come along with us. You know, like come up above eventually. You can see it.
We have some plan. Hey, we don't need to tell her about the plan.
What plan?
Well, we've signed up for the construction teams. When you're up above, we're gonna join you. Be some of the first up. We couldn't leave our little house alone for too long.
She's gonna kind of smile, but then she's gonna like her face falls remembering the first time she went on the surface. But I don't want you to get hurt. Like
We'll be fine.
I've
We've
seen
heard they have so much up there.
there is a lot up there, but there's also a lot of danger.
We can't just leave you to go up by yourself.
Nah, I can't argue with that. At this point, Chu knows her moms, and it's like they're stubborn. They're going to go with her. There is no-
do the heavy lifting, and you can fix it up with your mousetool.
Oh, that's great.
I named it that in my inventory.
Beautiful.
So, at the gesture of that, she's gonna pull out the mousetool that she's been using on her arm. And it's like, I gotta say, this thing has been very handy. It has everything a young engineer needs. Including a spoon.
Now a
When
spoon.
we have heard there's a lot of strong people up there. Your friends going up are very strong.
Well, they may be strong, but I got the brains.
Is
She's gonna,
there
like,
any in the group
tap her head.
you maybe like?
There is this one. There's this one Warforged. I want to see if I could give him a rocket.
What is a rocket?
I want to make him go boom. I want to be able to shoot things and make it go boom.
Little kiddo, don't get too ahead of yourself. It's good
No,
to
I
be
know.
creative and spread out, but we don't know what's up there. We've heard the rumors there's a lot of resources and endless space, but we don't know. Just be careful.
I remember. Believe me, she's gonna kind of like solemnly look down at her metal arm, like kind of like, you know, just like her cheery demeanor, like that is drops a little. Like, believe me, I know I have to be careful up there.
She'll kind of reach her finger down, or yeah, she'll reach her finger and kind of like pet you on your head a little bit. Her finger, it's cold. Her body is like living stone, but it's got a little bit of a warmth, and you can't help but like nuzzle in.
These are like a different kind of Goliaths. They're typical D&D Goliaths, so like they're stone.
These are huge.
Like-
These are closer to golems. They're like gigantic creatures. Being underground so long, like for generations back, they could have been a lot smaller. Nowadays, they seem to be more stone than anything else. Any facial hair and like body hair or anything like that has come out like jagged stones, and they are like
Do they have moss
fusing.
on them too?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, that's so cute.
They are, you see, like as they pull away slightly, cracks form around as they are becoming one with the cave. There's a little bit of a fear there. You know, maybe one day they will just become the cave.
Alrighty.
Um,
So
mhm.
So, she's gonna like kind of silently nuzzle in, and you know, she feels very comforted, but at the same time she's also very worried because she doesn't want to lose another set of parents.
You'll notice, so the finger she's kind of stroking you with, you look back, you'll see the wedding ring the two of them had.
Aww.
The ruby which was in one of them has been taken out, which you now have. And they wouldn't have passed with that unless it was unless they had to, you know. But they know that as long as you have it, you'll always be connected.
Love them.
We're gonna swing around. Grim, Where do you think you be right now?
I would probably be like wandering around in the streets somewhere.
Okay.
Possibly on my way back to my previous home, which I have not been back to in some time.
And what's that like as you're walking through the streets? What are you looking at as you go around?
I'm probably like hunched over, hands tucked into the whatever remains of pockets I still have in my tattered pants, just trying to avoid making eye contact with anyone, staring at my feet, glancing about suspiciously.
You'll probably see to the sides there's some people who are like clearly impoverished, like living on the streets. Homelessness in the lower city is probably not great. But mixed among the people as well, there are some warforges who seem to have like cups, like they're asking for coins, but it's hard to say what they would use the coins for, as they don't need to eat or drink or anything, so they're getting very few. There's what looks like these people on big stilts as well as you're going through the streets. They have a pole in their arm and slowly and just very meticulously kind of stepping through the crowds, going to lanterns and lighting them, which like they stretch up really high, like probably a good like 15, maybe 20 feet high, these lanterns as they go up and light them. And then they go around and go to light the next one. As you would see the little twinkling lights in the sky starting to dim a little bit, almost like simulating a day-night cycle.
Interesting. I try my best to avoid looking at the stilted individuals. I just generally ignore the Warforged. Don't particularly care much for the people on the streets around me, but am more than a bit unnerved by the people on stilts. As I walk down the street back towards my previous residence, I occasionally stop and check to see if there's anyone possibly behind me. Don't think there
You
is.
can roll a perception.
Okay.
First roll of the game.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's
Nat
go.
20.
Come on,
It's
loading.
tradition in that 20.
Oh
Is
god.
our first
Only
nat
one in every 20 games it happens. Oh my god. It's close.
Oh, yeah, it was really close.
That's close enough.
Close enough.
As you look back behind you, you're seeing like there's a scattering of people. You would see one figure standing there in shadow who locks eyes with you and then turns down a whole alleyway.
Know that I probably shouldn't follow a random stranger who made eye contact on the street. I am really, really unnerved just by that encounter. I feel almost drawn down the alleyway. So, against my better judgment, follow.
Okay. As you get there, you see at the very end of the alleyway, almost like beckoning, almost.
Think
Like,
I've
they look over their shoulder every now and again. You're seeing that same hooded figure as before.
Sorry, I think your mic cut out for a moment.
Oh,
didn't hear the first half of that.
Down the end of the alleyway, you're seeing that same hooded figure, almost as if they're
Okay.
beckoning you.
Hey. Feel most disturbed. I still keep following.
As you get a few steps inwards, a hand is going to reach out and grab your ankle. As you look down, you'll see a very skinny Warforge arm, like any metal plating or anything on the top. It's like pretty much just wires and the core pieces together. Very weak, but they're grabbing onto your ankle and you just see them shaking their head.
Freak out, yelp, and I try to squirm away.
Are you going back
I
to your
have
house?
to
Or?
roll.
I
Huh?
mean, they're very weak. You can roll a strength if you want to, but they are not going to put up a fight.
Okay. Going to ask what they want.
They'll go to like say a word, but there'll be like a sputtering of oil, and the lights, which almost like at the back of their throats, just kind of flicker on and off like a bad bulb. You can roll me an insight.
Yeah, let's do that. I have like no wisdom, but
They say in this sputtering, it's hard to make out what they're saying exactly, but they say, death is at the end of this alley.
hearing that, my whole demeanor just kind of softens. Sigh and give them a very sympathetic glance. I say, well, death is with all of us at some point. Some of us have one foot further into the grave than others.
They'll
And
just kind of look at you. You don't see them try and struggle for more words. They'll just kind of blink back into the shadows and go back up.
well, I kind of watch them slink away, but decide that it's probably better not to keep prolonging the inevitable, and I continue on my way back to my home.
Okay. What's your home like?
Well, haven't been there in a while, but it was once warm and vibrant. Probably pretty dusty now. It's been maybe a couple of months since I've been back there.
Is it like Gothic architecture, or are you doing something different with? Is it like anything going on? Like, is it built for a purpose, or?
Not really. It was just like kind of a whatever working class home.
Okay.
I just sort of left.
Yeah. So I mean, it would be a fairly grim-looking door frame. Like you said, like as you kind of go in, and it's dusty. There's that vacant, like still air, kind of still going through. Were you expecting anyone?
Wasn't necessarily expecting someone, but I had perhaps hoped that there might be someone there.
There doesn't seem to be anyone and as far as you can tell, maybe not for some time. You could do an investigation if you want to find out maybe through the dust how long it would have taken to settle.
Yeah, let's roll investigation. Oh wow, that's
pretty good.
that's a roll.
So you would have done when getting accepted into this mission, you would have done training for I think it's about 8 months. You would have been away for a bit as you got physically and mentally fit for this. Potentially coming back every now and again as a respite, but really you didn't come here too often. You're seeing some footprints or scrapings throughout. Things kind of left out of place. Can't have been more than a month someone was here.
Oh, the music peaked there. Can I roll to see if I can identify what type of footprints in the dust?
I mean, they're humanoid.
Oh, okay.
It
Well,
does.
they're definitely.
It seems someone had
Definitely
come
not.
in, had like some kind of a meal and stuff. Like, it doesn't seem like they were sneaking in. It seemed like they had got kind of cozy.
I'm going to down, look at the footprints, just sort of sigh sadly. Pretty sure that I know who they belong to, but seeing all the dust and seeing how long it's been since someone has come home, it's just depressing. Is there any sign that might point to, like, have any of my belongings been disturbed?
Roll me a d20.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, he?
I like the dramatic music, like.
Oh.
3. It
Well,
doesn't.
it's not.
It doesn't seem like anything. Anything of value was disturbed in any way. You're going through what you can. So yeah, with the 24 investigation, within certain sects within the underground, there are certain cults, and like the one which you were warned about before, the death cult, they're generally known for wearing like certain pieces of clothing, like black robes, and so on. To they're fairly shady. Generally, colors associated with the god of death in this culture would be attributed to white. It's more of a celebration of death, of like going on beyond. They generally wear like white face paint, pale complexions. They wear like handkerchiefs and white adornments on them to represent that. Like if you're in mourning, you would have like white clothing on.
Right.
There was an item you had in this room, a white mask, which has gone missing.
Can I roll to see if there's any sign of like which way the intruders might have gone upon leaving? I mean, I doubt it because it's been so long, but...
There wasn't a forced entry. If they came in through the front door, they left through the front door.
Okay. So then there's probably no way for me to tell where it might have gone.
Is there anything else you... There's fireworks going on outside. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to do? Or anything else you'd like to try? Now you're home. You've noticed this, but it isn't a big inconvenience to you.
I think... I would like to... go into my belongings and take out the... So... have...
If it helps, the white mask which was taken would generally be a way in which like a god of death would be respected. You know, you would wear that if you're maybe in a worship or something like that. It being taken and nothing else being disturbed, it doesn't seem like a robbery. It seems somebody had come in, maybe not particularly happy with the idea this god and took it away. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it was stolen. It just seemed like a, you know, I'm taking this so you can't have it.
See. A bit frustrated by the absence of the mask, but it's gone. Don't really... There's only one place that I could check. I don't really want to go there.
Okay. If you're good, we can jump to someone else and we can come back if you want.
Let's do that.
Okay. Ooh.
Okay.
We're 40 minutes in and 2 characters down.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
Don't worry, I can get this sped up on my end. I'm happy to take care of it.
Kitsune,
It's not like Kids
you-
was ready to go.
Are you good, kids? We're gonna knock.
You see a metallic circular pod just sitting there doing nothing and completely silent. Suddenly you hear a soft whirl and the pod starts shaking and vibrating. 4 spider legs pop out and the pod rises up and the top half pulls back to reveal a petite human-looking girl with fox ears and a bushy tail. Piercing light blue eyes focusing on a small person in front of her. 2 metallic fox paws extend out from under the pod. Pink and blue twin-tail hair adorned with red ribbons and thick grass reflecting light back at the person in front of her. A sad expression on an angelic, childlike face as 4 ears twitch to the sound of a female scientist's soothing voice. She smiles brightly and shouts, "Anything for my mommy." She giggles almost psychotic in nature. The 4-legged fox-like pod walks forward with a tick-tick-tick and the other small human screams in terror as the fox paws grab the girl violently and proceeds to eviscerate the girl into pieces. Blood spraying everywhere. The pilot of the pod, the fox girl looking over to mommy eagerly awaiting praise from mommy. Her red and black school uniform drenched in blood, brain matter and other boots.
sadness in her eyes, having killed another girl just like her, but a big smile on her face. The paw dripping in blood.
So yeah, just going over a few things which you kind of went over. So you would be all within training, right? With each of you doing your own certain things. Kitsune's training would be separate from each of you, as she would be doing something a bit more specialized. You were once an experimentation. Foxes aren't really something you would find underground. And yeah, with all creatures, horses and oxes and wolves and all this, they would be considered something similar to mythical creatures right now. Foxes are seen as kind of that middle ground. They're mythical, but there's also been sightings of them, and no one really knows what's going on. It's generally seen as this conniving, almost hated creature. And you would have been an experiment to try and bring out that essence into a person, to see if we can get that, the dexterous form of a fox into a person. There are other shifters within the city, but what you are is something a bit special. As this would have gone on with you, Kitsune, after a bit of time, as this person comes by, looks at you, tells you to clean yourself up, and scamper off, and slowly your clothes are kind of washed, and all that blood and brain matter gets washed away. As you leave, you see your good friend Fenris as well. You two would have been appointed together, a cleric paladin duo, with Fenris here being your watcher, I guess. This mission was put together by these three tribes joining for the first time ever. You being on this mission was hated by a lot of people. The only reason you were able to be here is because they put they put Fenris in your care, that if you ever went out of control or did anything, then he could put you down. You see each other for the first time in a while, as your training was separate. So, Fenris, what's up with you first?
Yeah, the only sound you really hear of them besides the plate metal is the sound of what can only be described as chimes. There's like scrap metal cylinders of old farming equipment on like a halberd. There's a vague sense of like incense, like the light of like holy candles. As this Haragon just kind of comes up very quietly and sullenly. The fur on the face would resemble one of a 5 o'clock shadow for a human, while the rest of it's more of a darker brown. There are numerous scars on the face, but there's a calm smile underneath it. The eyes are black and vacant, like that of a real soldier that has seen a lot. But there's still a very faint light of something of a soul in there. The jangling of the chimes continue as he walks and stands at attention, ready for listening.
Mm-hmm. As one second. As you get closer to what? Okay. Sorry, as you get closer, there's this sudden jolt, this moment where almost like distrust, like a flinching fight or flight response, darts forward as your minds connect for a moment. And it's like you two have become one and time around has slowed down. For a bit of time, you two are in each other's minds. For the sake of this, you're able to ask each other any question you want, and you'd be under the effect of Zone of Truth if you're trying to hide anything. Below you, as you are looking down, you see the floor has disappeared. Below, you see this cavernous floor, and built out of the wall, this what looks like one of the factories from UCAP. It's silos stretching up high with smokestacks going up and up. There's different buildings dotting around, and what you see are these two big barn doors which are open wide, and fleets of troops storming into the front. You see that from above, maybe a good 100 feet. They're like ants below you. And slowly your eyes are brought up to Brunette's.
Glad to see you survived once again.
I look at Fenris with happy eyes and a blank expression. I am riding my pod looking down at Fenris. I giggle. Hello, Daddy.
How you doing? Has Mom been treating you well?
Great and yes.
Good. Are you nervous about going to the surface? Has there
No
been
more
any-
beating.
Oh, that's good to hear. Have you been having any episodes recently? Can I count on you?
I am excited to kill everyone, so I am excited.
Well, make sure you save it till later at least, okay? We do gotta get this mission done. There's a great deal of money in this.
But I want to play.
You will get to play. I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of things to tear apart on the surface.
Fine. Daddy.
As you say that, looking down below, these dots of ants, as you think, swarm towards the front of this barn, as you see a figure floating out, covered in this pinkish magical energy, as with a single gesture of their hand, you see what looks like a sanguine arrow shoot out, blasting like a railgun through all of them as a splat of blood comes out. And in a single, like very simple motion, the same happens to the remaining ones. It seems like this crowd of like a few dozen troops were just instantly killed by whatever this figure was.
I just giggle. Splat, splat.
There's not much to say about deaths of soldiers. It's what's expected.
Okay.
I am of the Apocalypse domain. This is what we expect.
What in the
Yeah.
90s?
I wonder who they are.
As it seems like you're both on the same page and in agreement.
Mhm.
The area around you, you'll start to see the floor, the tiles start coming in and forming back solid. It almost seems like they're placed there artificially and held up, but you tap the ground and it's solid ground now.
Okay.
And you look back at this mechanized fox. Burke, what do you look like?
I'll go over it again.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's all fine to go over it again. I guess I was pretty
Daddy,
quick.
can I
was
have a
pre-
chocolate for being a good girl today?
I will pull out a satchel in a very well-rehearsed manner and toss a small candy. I said, we don't have many of these, but it is a Haragon about 5 feet of stature, fairly tall for a Haragon, and full-plated armor, but covered in what can only be described as makeshift broken farming equipment that resounds the sound of tubular bells. With a halberd that has the same treatment of like wind chimes on it when it's at a point. The smell and smoke of incense floats around this paladin. And the fur is a dark brown, but there are disjointed fur patches that are a gray that could resemble what we'll call like a 5 o'clock shadow.
Right, okay. Sorry to have you repeat yourself.
It's all right. I mean, I did my section pretty quick, so.
Okay. Let's jump to somewhere else. As we stare endless void of infinity for a moment, but there's a single spark of life there. Slowly opens up. In front of you is this laboratory room. Multiple scientists walking in and out. You're seeing smithing equipment to your left, and to the right you're seeing tinkerer's tools and all sorts dotted around. Maybe what looks like a desk which is messy and unkempt. Something maybe a mouse would have studied at. And with a clunk, you spring to life as the binds let go. 5. How are you doing?
Let's go.
I have just woken up. I am alive. This is my first breath. So, I am 5, essentially a newborn, but with memories of my ancestors. I remember most everything of my previous ancestors. I remember their skills, their abilities, their traits. I am specifically designed for this mission, augmented with new abilities and new technologies that possibly no one has seen in this underground city. And I am well aware of the task ahead of me, and I am prepared.
As you would be fitted up with a red V on your chest at this point, as it being bolted and screwed into place.
To sort of give an idea of what 5 stature is, I'm going to use a few references from pop culture. Think like a Optimus Prime sort of style, like very bulky in areas with plate, and you can see like joints and everything under the plate, but you notice in like a few areas, especially around the hands and the mouth and the tailbone, there is a liquid metal that is like it's stored in containers, very small under the plates, and it's just floating around with every move that I make around, and like it jostled a little bit when I fell from the binds. So, and yeah.
There is a small gnome just in front of you with like almost like punkish red hair, a lab coat going down, and this like handlebar mustache kind of filling up his nose. At this point would be discussing with probably like 2 other gnomes. Off to the side you're seeing some elves as well who are like studying and reading stuff on monitors. This gnome will kind of come over. What is your name?
Live.
And what is your mission?
Party. Secure home front on the surface.
Okay, follow me. And he'll start walking straight forward as there is a door just to your side, and he'll be going out of there.
I will follow. Again, very slowly because he's a gnome. I am essentially the Iron Giant, so like he'll have to take like 50 steps in order to, for 2 of mine. So
He is going to lead you down a series of scientific chambers, some of which have creatures held in captivity, pieces of what looks like chitin, something insectoid with it, with all the creatures suspended in animation and stuff. They seem motionless. You're seeing on the readout next to them, there's no activity, there's no heartbeat, no brainwave, nothing. As you're walking by, pass into another room adorned with weapons of all sizes. You're seeing swords glowing with fire. You're seeing hand axes which kind of give off a cold energy as well, as they are taking bits of this chitin and experimenting with it. Like, does the fire burn it? Does the cold freeze it? Like, they're throwing everything at it to try and work out resistances, immunities. They're trying to work out their abilities, and everything they can. And you get up to the front. There is this little stage for the gnome as he kind of steps up. You see he has the lab coat on, but he goes over, takes it off, puts it onto a hanger, and you see medals and plaques kind of awarded on his shirt underneath. This guy seems of some prestige. We have been researching the creatures above for some time, and we are sharing that information with you so you can follow your mission. As 2 more gnomes will kind of come up, they'll hand you a very small clipboard with very few pieces of paper.
I'm gonna start flipping through it like a student, basically, like, you know, stereotypical college student flips through a packet, very lightly reading it over, looking at mainly the pictures and like the light highlights of the notes and stuff like that.
There is it goes through pretty much everything which they know about. It talks about the passage leading up, like immediately out there's a hatch which opens up, and then it's in like their territory. There are systems that run through made of the walls themselves made of metal. Water comes about ankle height. There's grates and stuff going all over the place. Bars kind of stopping different sections from connecting, so you can't walk through the entire the part without like destroying these bars on the walls. But not much more than that. It talks very briefly, like almost a sentence, about the upper surface. It is like nothing we have ever experienced. In flipping through, it talks about these creatures. They seem to be insectoid in some ways, but possess mammalian qualities in some ways. There's a lot which connects them to like humans from this land. Even as you have kind of adapted to being underground, there's a lot which links them to that. They are very intelligent. They have not been observed in their natural territory. They know they fill the tunnels, these catacombs leading out, but they have not seen them because they go invisible. Their bite can be exceptionally deadly because it lowers your mechanic-wise, it lowers your hit point maximum. But it can be an exhausting effect. So any combat, even with the broodlings, could be deadly. But that's pretty much it. In terms of resistances, immunities, it just says pending.
That is not good, especially for my fleshy counterparts, I assume, but I will do my best to protect the party and secure the home front.
When you are up there, will you bring back anything of importance to us? Find out some information. If anything can be used against them, we need to know.
Of course.
If these cannot be the dominant species up there, there has to be some kind of predators, something. We need to know how to kill them.
Like my ancestors before me. Unlike my ancestors before me, I will not fail. And if I do,
damn, throwing shade to your ancestors.
I am as good as scrap up there. My directive is to secure a home front and protect the party. I will succeed where they have failed.
He'll kind of stand upright and give you a bit of a salute. Have some free time. Do what you like. You'll be sent soon.
Is there a training area nearby?
Yes. And he'll kind of gesture off to the side. There's a bunch of there's two other gnomes as well who'll kind of see you and are gonna usher to the side.
I'm gonna head to the training area and basically practice combat with the liquid metal abilities and basically for mechanic's sake using just basically using my rage state with the claws and the tail and the biting while they observe, and again just making sure everything's running properly for me to guard the party, and basically it's basically strength training, combat training. So
the way Warforges work in this setting is that your consciousness is a fragment of the Machine Lord, this entity which is housed in Krodar. It is fueled by thermal energy, so the magma pools below kind of give it energy to keep going. there has been a trend of the 1s and the 2s and the 3s and the 4s slowly through every iteration. They've consciously, more and more as it's kind of gone on, sharpened their hands. They've, when given a form of expression, they will depict themselves as bestial creatures. You're the first model of the 5s, and with this liquid metal, you can shift into whatever you want. You can take on any form you want. And as you're walking back through these rooms, you see another tube with one of these creatures. And its features look very similar to your own.
Like, as I'm walking and towards the training room, I'll have like that realization just looking down at my hand and like, slowly changing it back and forth between like the more humanoid hand and a more bestial hand, and then just keep walking.
Okay. Well, we're an hour in, so finally let's have all the party in one spot, as some time is going to pass. You will meet up with 5 in the training room. This has been probably a bit of time, let's say maybe an hour after you've gone to the training room. Slowly everyone would go back to their place. Chu would probably go back to their office to collect stuff, and then they'd meet the rest of their team. Everyone kind of seeing it as an opportunity. This would be the first time all of you have met each other. Some of you would have had training together, but together as a group, this is the first time.
Does everyone arrive at the training room sort of together all at once, or does everyone like trickle in?
I'm thinking everyone trickles in. You would be there training. I'm thinking Chu would be the first one, as they would probably see you and want to do maintenance or something like that. They'd go in on their own accord. Lucidius would probably come in last, as you were doing things.
I arrive fashionably late, covered in dirt.
And the duo,
Covered in dirt?
Fenris and Trinette, come in just after Chu. Ushered in as they're go train with your teammates.
I would probably, since 5 as a character is very hyper focused on the objective and the directive, he would probably be so focused on strength training and like trying to perfect the transformations, that he wouldn't notice the door like opening and closing and stuff like that. You would just see like this massive like Iron Giant sort of
Oh, I love the Iron Giant.
I took inspiration from the Iron Giant, not gonna lie. Basically he keeps just training, trying to practice defensive measures. Again, just studying all the stuff that he can do, so he doesn't really notice anybody walk in at the moment.
Okay. Kitsune, are you ready?
Tick, tick, tick goes the metallic pod as the little girl-looking fox follows Fenrir silently with a collar around her neck.
And Fenris,
And a leash.
you're in as well? Oh,
I can barely hear him.
you're really quiet. You are so quiet.
I can't hear shit.
Hold on, let me fix it.
Oh.
Sorry, I had a phone call earlier, so I turned down my gain. You know, like how dads hold like those kids on the leash? It's like that scenario.
Kids on a leash? That sounds about
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd always knew somehow she'd end up on a leash. Don't know how.
It was inevitable.
Kit, we love you.
I love you.
Anyway, yeah, we're walking forward.
Again, being very hyper focused on this until like someone like taps him on the shoulder or something like that, or you know, just like, and then like you see a training dummy just get like utterly
Fucking
destroyed.
eviscerated.
Yeah, by the claws and like, you know, by the mouth, and then quickly changing back to human, doing like martial arts training style like that. But it's not dexterous as it is strength.
I guess
what I
actually
mean?
the main thing. Oh, go ahead, Cass.
As you're doing this, Chu is like furiously scribbling down notes. Like while you're just doing all this, she's kind of like sizing you up as well.
Oh no. I just see like this tiny little mouse lady just like in awe, looking over her little notepad, just scribbling all this down like some form of Da Vinci style. artwork.
We are the best family ever, Daddy. Can we hurry up and save the world by killing everything?
Patience.
And after a few more dummies, he's like, I turn around and just like, oh, did you see all that?
It was wonderful. She's like stars in her eyes. You're doing
Are
great.
we in the room watching the giant as well? Because
Yeah.
Fenrir would have extra comment.
You would.
I was turned on.
Are we?
You two
Are
would
we
be
finally
in.
moving to automated combat? We don't have to see soldiers die pointless deaths anymore.
And Lucidius, you're also in the room as well. You would have come in, I'm guessing, just kind of
Yes.
unannounced, kind of slinking into the shadows.
Yes. I am like
Edgy.
trying to pick up as little space as possible, possibly bringing my furry wolf legs up to my chest and like huddling in a corner, glaring at the rest of the party.
Hold on. I just put this two and two together. Do we all have some furry parts in some way, shape, or form?
I'm a wolf man.
Oh yeah, you are.
I'm like
Oh no.
think like a satyr, but like wolf legs.
Furry
So-
squad.
This is out of
Oh,
game
God.
context. I thought this was like a Watership Down world, so I made a rabbit character. Like,
Oh lord.
Solid.
Anyway, I think we're just gonna wait for. I think with that we are waiting for briefing, and then we will do our thing.
Watership
Oh, yeah.
down. Who told you you could read my notes?
wait, what the fuck? I just heard Underborough, and I'm like, oh, and we have to go to the surface. That's Watership Down.
I
One of
hold
my
my
favorite
head in
books.
pain and start to shake violently like I am about to snap.
I'm gonna put my arm on her shoulder and cast Lay of Hands very softly for like a couple points. It's a very soothing, warming feeling going around her.
I'm gonna look up at Burke, what's your character's name again? I have
Fenrir. You can call me
Fe-
Fen if it's easy.
Fen. I'm gonna look at Fen and be like, does she have rabies?
That's the least of your concerns.
Okay.
But no, if it makes you feel better. No, she does not.
I take a deep breath and calm down. Just a little.
Kind of like overhear her ask about rabies, and I just like glance up, still glaring intensely, and say, "Can't promise I don't."
It's okay. We have
Then-
taken precautions for these things.
Again, being the newborn child that he is, and like knowing the directive, I would suggest the party does not do infighting. Please. We have a mission, we have a directive.
I giggle super loudly.
I like this machine.
Look at
I like this machine.
5. She's
Bring me
gonna look
another.
at 5 and be like, oh my god, you are wonderful. Anyways. She's gonna look at the whole party like, has any one of you guys been to the surface before?
Negatory. Ma'am.
I have technically been to the surface via memory, but it's fragmented, and I only know very little from what my ancestors are. So,
You've either been to the surface or you haven't been to the surface.
So you have memory from your ancestors, but you haven't been. Am I the only one who has been?
I have seen pictures of stuff in simulations.
Yeah, but it's different being up there.
Describe it.
So bright. And there's these creatures, these monstrous things. They'll just devour you without a second thought. And she's gonna kind of rub her metal arm, like, while remembering this, like, rub the forearm, this point between, like, where the arm becomes metal, you know?
It sounds like in our quest to find more, we may lose more.
Listen, I can't lose another arm. Or maybe I can.
if anybody
knows?
should die on this, it will be me first. For I am here to protect you all. This is my protocol.
I mean, well, dying is not really that fun.
So let's say
Dying is also not good for your health.
I give it a 1-star review. Suboptimal.
You know what?
Oh.
Everyone, could you all give me an insight as you are sussing each other out?
Mm-hmm.
Second?
I don't know. I feel like I'm getting along pretty well, but I guess I don't know.
I
Kitsune,
feel like
I see you typing. I'm gonna roll for you just so you can type it up.
I got nothing against nobody here.
7.
Nice.
You get advantage on insight? Let's go.
No, I'll take the 3. Who else is there?
Fun.
Oh, Cass.
Wait, let me find insight. It's with the
Got
eyes,
an
right?
11.
Nice.
Oh wait,
So
that's
low.
rolling with. That's also advan. Oh wait.
Well,
I've been rolling
that
with
makes
advantage.
sense because she wasn't really sussing anyone out. She was like, kind of chill.
Well, yeah,
She
like,
didn't.
just, what you're picking up as you're, like, talking to each other, is kind of putting some pieces together.
Jeanette wants to learn. Jeanette will befriend. I suddenly lunge forward with the pod ending by the mouse girl with a loud crash. I scream, let us be friends.
God.
So with the 7 insight, as you see this fox girl run towards you and crash with this 4-legged vehicle kind of like going down to your level, like crouching down, saying, let's be friends. 7 insight, you look in those eyes and you see something there, but you can't put it together.
It just, I find it hilarious because, like, True would not really resist. Like, there's no point.
Haha.
I will notice. I'll take note of what I see in the eyes,
Resistance is futile. She's very weak.
but I will keep note of it. I will not say anything though. I just will keep note in like the back of my head, like in like sort of think like a hard drive storage, like something might not be all too right.
Lycidas? Lucidius? You're looking around with your 11 insight. What you're kind of putting together, because your character has a fatal illness, right? You're looking around and you have a mouse with 1 arm. You have Trinette in a wheelchair with 4 legs. You probably, you're looking around, you're seeing everyone. These aren't like the strongest, like, well-fittest people for the job. You know,
It's a motley crew if I've ever seen one.
generally, like, looking, like, everyone seems a bit small. You know?
They really sent the animal farm for this mission.
Over the Hedge 3 is looking interesting.
And it kind of makes sense because you've had doubts about being on this mission as well.
Getting over the hedge 3, that's just funny as fuck. Because this is
I
over
love
the
sequels.
hedge. Hypothetically.
I love sequels.
Is Trinette hammy?
You know? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it looks like you've had doubts about this mission yourself, and now you see the whole team here in the flesh,
In the fur.
in the fur. Like it doesn't. These aren't like the best and brightest. Something feels up about this. Trinette, with your 20 insight, you're getting a sense that I mean, you're going around looking in these people and trying to make friends. You're seeing Chu. He seems genuine. She does have that kind of like professional look, but also a scattering of
She's a
home-
professional hot mess.
yeah, like a homey kind of sense. Like you have that scarf on. You have like items and stuff which, you know, probably add a bit of unique flair to you. But you're seeing Five. He looks very unique. Lucidus kind of stands out a little bit as they are off in the distance. They seem of all of them the least fit for this mission. But
Okay.
it's up to all of you right now. We are 1 hour and 22 minutes in. Does everyone here want a quick little 5-minute break?
Yes.
Hey, break.
We probably got like another hour and a half left. So
TP
this
break.
is like
That's cool.
pretty much in the middle.
Get some water,
It
It
hydrate
really is perfectly in the
yourselves.
middle.
I'll
Uh,
go pee.
All
at
that
this
good
point,
stuff.
just before you all head off, at this point, people are going to come in and start to usher you out as the mission is ready to go ahead. They're gathering everyone ready, and we're going to pick up as we're going to the opening hatch. Everyone have your little bathroom breaks and whatever you need to do.
My body is ready.
How is everyone finding the session?
I am
Liking
enjoying
it. I'm liking this motley crew, this wolf pack, this furry squad, this fur fest going on right now.
I kind of low-key thought we
So-
weren't allowed to be human based on what everyone else said. And I'm like, all right.
You guys are
Kinda,
so
sorta,
lucky.
same.
No, humans are allowed.
There are humans.
You guys are so lucky that I used to be a furry artist.
Oh no.
I mean, I wasn't like that kind of furry artist. I'm talking like I learned to drawing furries as a teenager. As a kid, but like I don't know. It's been like 7-8 years since I've like
Yeah, that's-
consistently drawn furries, but I still can draw furries.
That's really convenient for the party.
You know,
That's great. Alright, I'm gonna go get water. I'll be right back.
Okay.
it's like I'm not like as practiced with like furry faces anymore, but I like can draw paws and things better than I can draw human feet, and that's why like all of my characters have non-human feet, because I hate drawing human feet.
Let me tell you something. I was doing an art piece, right? And it involved my character being barefoot, right? Like,
Ruh-roh.
Oh, well, Shaggy.
Le- Let me tell
So
you
convenient.
that it was because she was at the beach, right? So, and I was like, oh, this is a cool pose. But I was trying to figure out how to position, like draw her feet. The amount of feet pics that I had to look up was too much. And at that point, I'm like, I'm never drawing feet again. That was the worst experience ever.
I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom, but I put Lycidius in the chat for those who have not
You can
seen
admit
it yet.
your fetish.
I don't have a foot fetish. I swear to God.
I'm sorry if I keep calling your character different names each time I try and pronounce them.
It's okay,
Yeah.
you'll get it eventually.
Listen, that's why I named it one syllable, simple, easy, chew. Just like
I
how
make
like the beginning of Tuesday for Val, you know?
It's okay, Grandpa.
Aww.
That's why I made it really easy. Cause I know Val, he can't pronounce names for shit.
It's because he's British, right?
No, it's cause he's something.
I'm
That's
British
what it
and
is.
dyslexic.
Grandpa Val.
Brit
You're
lexic? That sounds terrible. Can we cure it?
No, it's terminal.
That's unfortunate.
I am Doug.
I have stupid aces.
Me too.
Fairy.
I'm liking the campaign. Let me know if I'm going a bit too grim horror or whatever this is. Things will probably
doesn't
change
feel
a little bit.
It doesn't feel too grim horror. It feels like
Shit's been fucked.
It feels
There'll be a total
like-
shift when we get up under the surface.
But
That's what
okay,
I'm saying.
it feels like if Pumped Up Kicks were like a campaign, like it
Oh,
sounds all
lo-fi
bright
edition?
and cheery, and then it's like
yeah.
surface
I
level
like
bright and
dark humor.
cheery.
and then if you like actually put a brain cell to it, it's like, oh shit, not that bright and cheery. But I'm loving our little Looney Tunes gang so far.
I love it.
I'm the most aggressive Bugs Bunny you're gonna ever meet.
I'm sadly I do not have the voice of Stephen Cullen who did Optimus Prime,
I have
but
returned with.
Yo, I
I
can get
will-
you a voice filter for that.
Are we all back?
I mean, I was like taking a little mental break but like a comedy break, you know?
Yeah. I'm
And
not
if you
used to
guys,
playing
if that makes you
serious
guys
characters.
uncomfortable, because sometimes I do that, I like break the tension and I'm like, hold on.
Yeah, you're
Like for
What do you think of my character's personality? Just wondering.
she's very
Very-
interesting.
very yandere. Very yandere.
Chew is mildly threatened. Only
Good.
mildly.
I don't think
Why-
it's like possible for Lycidius to feel threatened by something like that because he's like death is romantic.
Death is romantic, yeah. So your character like romanticizes death.
But yeah, but like specifically the process of dying.
Imagine
So it's like
what's his
less
name?
so the
Lycidius?
Yeah.
I love that name. It's just like I imagine death so much it feels more like a memory.
yeah.
Yeah, 5
He's
is.
like
Oh, sorry. Keep going. Lycidius.
yeah, he's like terminally ill, and so he fell into a cult that like romanticizes like the process and the act of dying, less so the death itself, and more like the interim between life and death. Yeah.
Flirt with the cycle for lots of death.
5
So-
is. So, keep going.
No, I was gonna say.
I thought. Yeah.
uh,
Go.
uh,
Valiant, go! You go! You go!
Like this.
Right, it's just like watching two people at a stop intersection that don't go.
No, this is a Canadian standoff.
that happens
No.
with English people.
There's not enough whiskey involved.
Okay, are we good to jump back into it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm good.
So,
Water, I'm good.
after you all met at the training lab, you would have gone on ahead, followed by a bunch of other escorts, and going forward. Going outside, there's this big, what looks like a conference with people, little artificers with stones in their hand, kind of, beckoning for you to come over. And if any of you do, there's like a sudden flash in your face, and then your picture is stored on the stone. And then they kind of take it and just kind of put it into a bag. There's people like doing sketches and stuff of your faces and stuff like that. People, basically, they're writing the newspaper. As there's a bunch of guards kind of ushering them back, keeping everyone on patrol.
I would like to state that I'm probably Cass's character is probably either on my shoulders or I'm like holding her in my hand, like like a valet basically.
Listen, if I don't have to walk, I'm not gonna.
They're
That's fair.
ushering people in. Are any of you tempted to go over? Okay.
Go over where? Sorry, I blipped for the briefest of seconds.
They have like little stones, and they're
I
basically...
start growling and I hold my head murmuring, Mommy, Mommy, Mommy.
Mommy? Sorry. Mother?
They're like taking pictures on like little stones and then writing the newspaper and stuff. Are any of you gonna go over because they're asking for statements? And
I look down at Shu's character, kind of like, would you like to go? And I'm just a newborn and I'm pure directive, so I'm like lawful neutral. So
I am 3 years old, and what is this?
Exactly.
Are we all baby?
so
No, I'm not. I'm
goes
like
to everyone.
I am not baby.
I mean, none of
Party-
you have to. If you continue on as they're kind of, do you want to Chew want to go over?
Chu is kind of like when she sees people like, cause okay, is there like sort of like quote unquote taking a picture?
Yeah.
She's gonna like pose for the fans,
They're taking pictures and stuff. A few of them are like, give us a statement. Give us a statement. Come on, say something to the newspaper.
Like
Sorry, this is what I was trying to
1920s
get
reporter.
contextually, like what's going on. I'm happy to step up for that.
Are we like on a red carpet?
Yeah, you're leaving.
Oh my god, we're famous.
If you want to step up, you can.
I will happily step up.
They come up and like a bunch kind of gather and squash into this very small spot. Each of them with like pens and papers ready.
Oh wow, I feel so loved.
I am not handling the flashes well and shaking hard.
This is for all the other mouse folk out there.
Let me put I'm gonna put Cass down. Like, would I be able to notice
You hold me up like Simba.
No. Like, what I'm gonna do is because again, my directive is to protect the party with either their own shit or with shit that's outside of the party. So, would I be noticing Kitsune's character shaking and not handling the flashes?
Yeah, probably.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put Shu on Burke's character's shoulder, and I'm going to slowly but surely kind of walk my way over to Kitsune and sort of shield her from the flashing, I guess. Try to keep her covered the best I can with my body.
I'll
put myself
I don't even notice you on my shoulder. I don't even notice you. It's like you know like those alligators or crocodiles that they don't notice when things land on them. It's like that.
So they come up, and if you're all there, or just if Fenris and Chew are there, they're like, and what do you think the success of the mission's gonna be?
I start to relax and look at the lovely robot with a huge smile.
I have no doubt in the mind that we will overcome and triumph over these times. For the end is not nigh today, and it will not be nigh tomorrow. It may be somewhere down the line, but it will not be on this mission.
about a dozen pencil scratchings as they're writing that down word for word. Like one or two kind of looking over the other person, like copying off their work, and they're like sheltering it. You miss, you work here, right? Have you ever seen, like, what is it like up there?
She looks like she's like, it is dangerous up there. I remember as a kid there are these. It's not the environment itself, it's those that live in it. But I believe with this team, we can overcome the dangers of the outside world.
As you say that, there's like a bunch more flashes in your face as like they've all kind of gathered around and they're taking pictures as you are both kind of saying this. The other escorts will kind of slowly kind of get in front of you and usher you away as it's chaos with all these reporters and stuff going on, but they're kind of keeping some kind of orderly kind of function with this as you're heading on forward. You walk through the city, heading over a number of great bridges stretching over as the build.
DM.
Yeah, what's up? Oh, I see. Oh. Sorry, I only just saw this. Just for the sake of this, we're just gonna move on. We can do that. We can do that in a sec. Just because we're already past it. Sorry. I'll keep this open just for in the future. There's a number of these bridges as the city itself would have been built up in like layers, with like one layer and then a bridge connecting it to the next, and it like almost
Onion-like?
yeah, like ogres.
Body.
Almost like Venice with like punts and stuff, where like bridges connect over waterways and so on as they're reaching over big streets down below. And you're going over and you see these ant-like people once again staring up. A round of applause as you're kind of walking over. There's the streets are packed, filled. There's still, you're seeing the homeless few there as well. But everyone seems to have come out. You'd probably pick out like a few Goliaths and so on. Your parents were not the only ones. There was probably a few more who came out especially for the occasion.
Who is definitely waving at her parents. Like, it's like, Mom and Mom!
They're waving back and they kind of like shake off and just kind of clean themselves up, shaking off some of the like a clothesline off their like out of their hair and stuff, and just kind of wave you off. And as this little procession goes on further, you hit a building. You would have seen this a bit further out. It looks like probably one of the oldest buildings here, and in some ways once was a religious site. It is this tall structure going from the very bottom layer all the way to the highest point in the ceiling, and it even goes on further than that.
Wow.
There are square holes marked out along the surface of it, stretching up as high as it can go, with a big on the outermost section overlooking the city. That whole area seems to be completely vacant, and you can just see floor after floor stretching up with these beams, almost like rods or vines of metal sticking out. Towards the bottom is this small little room. As you'll go inside, it's probably around like 10 foot by 10 foot and a squeeze for all of you. As you go in, you hear a grinding sound of chains on chains as slowly feel the world around you start to shift unnaturally. And after maybe a good 10 or 15 minutes of this, you arrive. The doors once again open, and you've risen up into far beyond this building, but into the actual cave itself, into the highest point you can go, into the ceiling of this big open area. That will lead you again through a bunch of worked stone, some tunnels carved out. And at the very back in front of you, probably around 60 feet in front of you now, there's this tunnel. It goes 30 feet by 30 feet, 60 feet wide. There are multiple groups of soldiers. They look like in army gear, but fairly standard. In army gear, but like built for like tactical work. Something similar to like a SWAT team, maybe. And you're seeing maybe 5 of these squads of teams of 6 each. So there's a good 30 people here, armed and ready. And you join groups as well. That little gnome from before who spoke to 5 will kind of come up. And talk to all of you individually, making eye contact and talk.
Ooh.
Are you all ready?
Cher's gonna take a deep breath, look over to her compadres, be like, "Oh, guess we gotta be ready."
Once you're up there,
I'm calm and just shrug.
Once you're up there, you can contact us with spells like sending. Feel free to scry on any of us if you need anything. We will be here if you need us. Your mission is to settle onto the surface. Look for spots which would be best, ideally out of combat range. We want something by the water, something with harvestable food. We're going to be making a supply line from this area to there, so relatively close, but near natural resources in case that supply line gets cut off. Yeah.
So they want a condo by the beach. Got it.
On top of that, you'll hand each of you a potion. A very small, like very crudely made vial with this light bluish liquid inside. We're going to open that door. And 2 of these platoons of soldiers are going to go out. Yeah? Then we're going to close the door. Wait 10 minutes. Then we're going to open the door again. Another group goes out, and then you're going to go out. Drink the potion.
What does the potion do?
Potion of invisibility. They are out there, and they are invisible, and they are watching and smart. We want you out without them knowing you've left. These soldiers are a distraction.
Oh, decoys.
The invisibility will last for 1 hour. 5, you have a map for the closest route out.
And like as he says that, like it'll like kind of show through into my eye, like as a holographic projection. Just left eye opens up, and it's just a map that sprawls across the floor.
You will be invisible and unable to see each other, so bind a rope together so you don't get lost and split up from each other. If you are split up, you are lost. Try and get back best you can, but that is worst case scenario. Trinette, you have an ability to sync everyone's minds together. If you could do that, please. Speak out loud. You do, as a mind cleric, you do. or not as a mind cleric, in your fox thing, you have a feature which lets you all cast message to each other while within 240 feet.
Sense for the mind cleric to be able to do that. That makes.
Yep.
Do not speak out loud. They will not be able to see you, but they can hear you, and they can track you from that. There is water on the floor as well. They can make noise and fall in. They will hunt you down. Any questions?
A solid
I
nod
look
is given.
scared, but suddenly everyone hears your piercing static for 10 seconds.
Sit down. It's like static. You have
Like
static.
in your head.
It shoot through your head like static for a moment as it's this almost headache. You flinch for a moment as Kitsune's ability syncs your minds together.
Then they connect.
Suddenly all of your thoughts, your lingering little unconscious stuff starts murmuring to each other.
All of them?
Wait. Would Five's memories also be a part of this web?
Unconscious thoughts and like lingering things, surface level stuff would probably be sent across. Deeper memories wouldn't.
Gotcha.
So if it's surface level thoughts, then the whole party is going to get to bear witness to Lycidius like internally grumbling about how distrustful he is of like all of the people around, not just the party members.
Excellent.
Have you ever played Psychonauts?
Yeah.
No.
You know the second level with the agent with the cube mind? Like, wow, look how compact and clean this is. That's what you're gonna get with Fenrir. Just a completely like blank slate.
The inner workings of my mind is an enigma.
Hobbies.
All right.
So it's gonna go ahead as he said. The first group, they're gonna open the doors and they're gonna go through. You'll notice as the door opens, there's a few spells are gonna be cast here and there. There's like some mages on both teams. One of them will kind of cast like see invisibility. Another one have poked their head out and they'll see something straight down the end, and one of them will line it up and cast magic missile. As you'll see these dots of blue energy streak through, circling down these tunnels as they shoot at the far end. You hear this guttural, almost like to pull from Pulp Fiction, it kind of sounds like xenomorphic. Something alien, like chitin, like bug-like, but definitely like a baboon yelling. Like there's a guttural roar to it as well.
RXD.
And as that kind of goes on,
Oh no.
these two squads are gonna go forward and ink to the left and to the right, and they're gonna go down the tunnels, the door quickly closing behind them. There will be a few moments where you hear these buzz and scraping and churning water, some more shots of firebolt and stuff will kind of be shot out, and then a few moments, less than a minute, and silence. 10 minutes pass, and the door opens once again. A mage casts the invisibility. You will drink in your potions?
Yep.
Yeah. If we get the cue to drink our potions, I'm drinking it.
Yeah.
You will drink your potions. You'd be invisible before the door opens. They cast invisibility, see invisibility, and look forward. Nothing. They wave their hand to give you the go-ahead.
And we just... I think what Five is going to do, he's going to try to pick up, like, the more smaller party members and just to, keep pace fast to cover more ground. basically, because, you know, smaller feet versus larger legs.
Lycidius would probably be in that group.
So basically, I would be picking up Lycidius and Chew, underarm carrying them.
He's like a normal height for like a humanoid, but he weighs like 115 pounds. He's very scrawny.
I have strength
And very
17.
slow.
I can do this.
Oh my god, I'm
I'm
actually stronger than
kind
you.
of obviously skittish about
You
everyone.
get-
I accidentally broadcast to the group without realizing it. Everyone hears. I will be a good girl and not cool, hopefully, while drinking the potion.
Oh.
the group.
Sorry.
Easy.
That's okay.
Easy. Mental head pat.
The
Alright,
group
well,
also
So-
gets like
I will need a marching order as you start going down.
I'm with Mike, you know?
In
I
the
wouldn't
lead?
mind taking point.
Okay.
I will be behind.
I'm with 5, my buddy.
I'll be behind Fen, I guess.
Okay.
I'm 5 is the one carrying us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he can just like sling Lycidius over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes.
Like, both of you are probably on my shoulder. Again, I have the, like, metal ears that Optimus has, so you guys are probably just standing on my shoulders, just hanging on to those.
And regard.
So-
And like you just
All I'm
get
gonna say to kids
like-
is it's like the old days, right?
Lucidius, what are you saying?
get like the mental broadcast of like Lycidius just internally thinking to himself, well, this is a little better than walking, I guess.
Am I the robot's dog?
So, first off, just to keep track of it, Fenrir, do you have plate armor right now?
Uh-oh.
Fenris?
I'm sorry, I'm blanking out. Sorry, my ADHD's kicking in pretty hard. What were you saying?
Sorry, did you have plate armor?
Yes.
Perfect.
There's a reason I wanted to take point.
Mhm.
In case
So-
everyone else had to bail.
You and Tsune roll me stealth with disadvantage.
Disadvantage, I'm aware.
Yeah.
Oh, I am painfully aware.
5, roll me a stealth normal, but also roll me a survivor with advantage.
Okay, I don't know how to do that with, within...
Oh, if you
D20.
if you just roll normal, because you're automatically rolling advantage. Unless I say do advantage. You know what?
Oh, got it.
Dexterity is my lowest trait.
Ignore the firebolt. I was trying to do something.
And the insight. You need to roll a stealth.
Didn't cast a firebolt.
So I need... What do I need? I need stealth and survival. Correct?
Ignore the firebolt.
Okay.
Please ignore it.
So 10 to stealth and a 6 on survival. Wow, I rolled
you
crap.
have survival with advantage.
Oh, survival with advantage. So I'll just roll again.
Perfect.
There we go.
You said survival was the second one?
No. Everyone's rolling stealth.
Oh.
Only 5 is rolling survival.
Okay.
I can do Kitsune's one if you want. We can go through sheets and stuff a bit more thoroughly for next time as well. If anyone needs help or anything like that. That should be every 5. Wait, we're missing someone.
Wait, do I
Do
need
I
to roll?
Oh
Wait.
yeah, you roll stealth as well.
Do I?
We roll with advantage or normally?
Everyone rolls. So 2 Lucidius and 5 roll normal stealth. Burke and Trinette, not Burke, Fenris and
Then,
Trinette
yeah.
roll with disadvantage because one has plate
Big,
armor, one has a
bulky
giant
armor.
machine.
Ah, I see. That'll do it.
Oh, you got it. Okay. I mean, we both got 12, so it's cool. Chew got stealth. Cool. Stealth is pretty low.
I'm the
guys.
stealthiest?
Yeah, stealth is pretty low.
Oh,
Look, I have a
no.
-2 in Dex, so
I'm pretty stealthy. I'm limber.
I'm literally have fucking tubular bells on my armor.
Fortunately,
I just rolled badly.
this isn't.
I'm just a massive warforged.
This isn't stealth to avoid being seen. You just have to not have the lowest
I'm a dog robot.
collective
Yeah.
stealth. As the door opens, all invisible,
Man, I'm carrying this party stealth.
and you start making your way through. 5 picking up both Chew and Lascivious. One under the arm, I'm thinking, and one on the shoulder. Start making your way through. There is water on the floor, and between Trinette and Fenris, you can't help but like splash. Clearly, there's something going on. This other SWAT team comes through, and they're not seeing this one wizard around it. They look to their left. Their swords. They draw crossbows and shoot out firing bolts. They then start retreating, backing up to the right as a door closes. What you see as you go straight forward, creature. This tunnel, first off, is about 30 foot in a circle, right? Perfectly carved 30 foot. This creature stands with its head almost on the ceiling. As it comes by, you see one of the giant arms. It's invisible, but you can see the blood covering the front as it pulls itself forward. See this towering monster as it looks
What in the night?
to the creature. All of you.
Is this the creature that I remember from when I was a kid?
It is a big creature. Seems very similar to that.
Okay. We're fucked.
It wouldn't be this, but it is just standing there down the tunnel and you see the splashing. Like a moment where you don't know if it's trying to work out happening or if it sees you and is just figuring out which target am I going to go. But with a few more shots, this other team goes that way and lumbers. You're invisible. It knows you're there, it knows something's there. With 5 getting to 21 in survival, you make your way forward as fast as you can, as stealthy as you can. 5 knows the way as it goes forward and then goes to a left, double backing onto a right and then going around. You know all these secret routes, there's tunnels. Some time is passing as you've heard around you. Danger. Hide. You can kind of go pace for now.
There is room for everyone if you want to save energy. I point behind myself. Water splashing as each leg slams down. Look, guys. We have a playmate. I look disappointed that it was distracted.
Oh god.
So you have some time and you have this telepathic link between all of you, right? Is there anything you want to discuss while you're on path?
Well, in regards to the creature, I'm gonna telepathically say to everyone, please be careful with that. It looks like the one that ate my parents.
That was indeed too close. If
it is
anything like that,
necessary to abandon me, do not hesitate.
I'm just gonna
Damn.
I'm gonna grumble at the thought of that notion, and just like kind of just shake my head and push forward. All right, we should start looking for a place to set up camp, and potentially the settlement.
Well,
I'm
close
expendable,
there. We
just
got a
let me
journey.
die.
Wow.
I'm saying I'm expendable.
Wait, is this the Suicide Squad?
I mean, basically.
Some of us might be.
A furry Suicide Squad.
It's because we are.
Lucidius, that feeling in the back of your head ticks you. Because you're not all the fittest people for this job. Are you expendable?
Are we a Suicide Squad?
The mission objective must be completed.
I am just here to serve.
Don't see how it.
Go on.
I don't see how it matters whether or not we were chosen because they expect us to die or because they expect us to succeed. Still try, anyways.
Adam, that's the right attitude.
So that's a good spirit to have for this whole shadoodle.
We'll get through this.
I'm not trying to be inspirational, I just don't care.
That's the first step of being truly
No.
successful.
No one will be dying on my watch. I will be the one to go if needed. You all will live happy lives.
Man.
Yeah, basically that whole ideology. You will all live happy lives. And more than likely, once this mission is over, I will be decommissioned. That is all.
And what do you call a dirty mongrel fox, as Mommy said?
Oh, what?
That's not true.
Anyway, we're walking onward.
We'll unpack that when we get to camp.
We're gonna. We have a lot to unpack in this group.
Yes, there is a lot of trauma.
Someone's getting decommissioned. It's like, but Chu's gonna look at Five, who is carrying her. It's just like, not on my watch. You're getting decommissioned.
So, as you're in this tunnel, there's water by your ankles. A lot of like steel, like dark colors, mossy green. There's very dark blues. And in the city you were in, there's vibrant purple, probably at most. Any lights you have are like from these luminescent crystals in the ceiling, which give off like a white light. Gold and yellow aren't really colors you see often. Turn the corner, there's this little hole which leads up. And looks like a cylinder, maybe? Which is just being pulled over to the side just a little bit. It's streak of gold. Now, touching the there appears to be like a metallic ladder leading up.
I will go first on the ladder, heading up. You stay, I go. I'll start to climb the ladder, base, and poke my head out of the top of, of the hole, I guess.
Oh, I'm so glad I don't have to climb this. I could just sit on you.
So who's actually on top right now?
I'll be at the bottom waiting for everyone else to get up.
Five is looking around. Is Chew on their shoulder?
Yep.
I assume
As-
Lycidius is still on the other shoulder.
We can do, as everyone starts to make their way up, 5, you'd go up, make sure like the coast is cleared, you're looking around, it looks fine. Everyone would slowly come up. I have perceptions from everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
Sure.
Oh, sorry. Did that mean to roll with disadvantage?
That's persuasion, not perception.
Oh god, I can't even read it.
Persuasion again. I'm gonna use the crit because you've done 2 crits and a 19. I'm happy to
Holy
use the crits if you want. Whoa.
No,
Okay. Okay.
Oh, ow,
Wow.
pain. 22. You can either use the 12 or the 22, because I didn't know if it was
Sorry.
working or not.
I'll use Katsina with the crit because you critted twice. I'll use the roll and the modifier, so you got a 28. Cool. Going from the bottom, leading up. 2.
Mhm.
Just generally, as you're all looking around, there is grass not really.
Somehow I feel the inherent urge to just munch on it.
As you look, there seems to be these flat plains of this black stone of some kind, which seems to be almost marked. There's these metallic constructs lining all around you. Their purpose is hard to really fathom right now. There is all, like the buildings you went into before, these enormous structures going up, and you just see panels of glass after another going up and up until they almost pierce the clouds above. Seeing little, what you can only think are metallic trees, little rods poking out the ground with these like triangle shapes on top.
Oh.
Cool.
With an aid perception, you're looking around and you see this combination of structure and foliage. Its nature has taken over itself with some of these taller buildings. Vines have gone around and restricted them, curled around, and almost have covered the entire surface. It looks like nature is winning this fight, and these buildings and stuff are slowly becoming less and less. 5. Anything above a 10 would probably net you. Directly in front of you, there is this one ginormous creature. It's over, kind of with a fraction of this earth kind of mounded on top. They are this construct with these 2 large wings coming off the back. A lot of the framework has rusted away and decayed over time, but it is very clearly a construct.
I'm gonna point it. Oh,
go on.
keep going. I wanna point it out to Chu and basically be like, there is something for you to tinker on here, if you would like.
You know, you're joking, but I might search it for parts that are useful.
Can I cast command on the robot?
So command wouldn't work. This construct seems long since gone. It wouldn't. You can command it, but it wouldn't be able to respond.
Yeah, it doesn't have like the.
Can I do the angry guy?
the angry guy?
On me?
Command the barbarian? I mean, technically you can. What
But
if you,
it's
I mean, you can
it's
just
not
ask him.
command of party members.
Oh, there's a spell called command. You can just ask him to do something.
Yeah. Without it, and that would be without expending a spell slot, so it's nice.
With a 16. Lucidius, you want to roll me a medicine?
Sure. It won't be very high, but oh,
Nice.
yep.
You feel weird. You feel something change. There was a shift coming out of this little hole behind you. You feel your lungs fill with something like a liquid, like a thick liquid, that you can breathe normally and almost better than before. It's weird. The illness you were afflicted with hasn't gone, but at least the pain has relieved itself a little bit.
I'm just very confused because I don't really remember what it's like to not feel that level of pain in my lungs. Just
around.
kind of like I just kind of like press a clawed hand against my chest and look down in complete disbelief.
You're seeing more of
I
these-
want to make Lashes compliment me as something my character finds it hilarious.
You see around you
I'm serious, Val.
See, we can do that in just a second. Around you, while everyone is kind of looking at the front, like directly in front of you, you look you look behind you. There is a break in the buildings, and it opens up to this sandy beach. There's a endless stream of water coming in, and completely surrounding, you're seeing this mountain range going from the furthest points out you can see, going all the way around. You can see this very tall mountain range. Burke got a 14. You can see at the furthest point of this mountain range, at the very back, you can see what looks like like a semicircle, but it looks like an entire disc, like as far as wide as this mountain range is. This whole disc has been almost broken in the middle and like put up at an angle. So there's this mound, like there's this barrier of rubble as everything came collapsing down. It's this weird place of structure. Nothing really seems in place. Everything's falling apart, and huge. You're underground. You've never seen anything big before. The sky is just endless, and you see.
Wow.
You think, but you can't really process. Like, why would someone build it like that?
Wow.
Wow.
Hate it. Stop.
Wow.
Wow. I'm sorry, if someone does it, I can't stop.
I grenade and start pointing at Lucidius and say, do you think I would look good in a swimsuit? I cast command and everyone here is giggling as I cast command. I am kind of excited by this guy.
Kitsune, to put it blunt, And the picture is kind of telling of what this is as well. What you're looking at in this fantasy world is what we would consider a modern day urban metropolis. You are seeing skyscrapers, you are seeing tram cars, you are seeing street lights, and
I thought you said beach.
yeah, it's a beach. This picture doesn't do that justice, but behind you, you're seeing a beach as well. It opens up and you're seeing a beach. There's some of these buildings sticking out of it as well.
Sidious
What in the
is just confused by her question
It still
because
makes sense.
I don't think he really knows what a swimsuit is.
You wouldn't know what a swimsuit is.
Swimsuit.
You've never seen an ocean before. You don't know what this is.
There wasn't like an underground pool.
You did not have an underground pool. Definitely not enough to have a swimsuit.
Water was tight as it was.
But you see this
How-
rolling landscape
Okay.
in front of you. You want to find a
How
place
close?
to settle.
How close are we to the water?
Then I
Um,
said this.
From where you are, you can see it over a few buildings, and then it opens up wide.
Then I said nah.
If
So
you-
we're not like realistically close enough to touch it.
Not close enough to touch it. If you walked for a little bit, you could get there.
Okay. See.
Then I said naked instead.
So you have this entire world in front of you. What do you all want to do?
That corpse, that dead robot corpse.
Mhm.
I wanna play with it.
Okay.
I wanna search its corpse for any useful parts, tools, or stuff that I could like potentially use either like for myself or for 5.
So excuse the description, but
Yeah.
the description wouldn't. Don't worry about that. Don't read it. But this is what you'd be looking at.
Ooh. Okay, so can I still try to like see what's scamper on in there and
Yeah. Actually, if you look at the artwork, there's a little building in the chest. You can see a little hole and a ladder coming down. This is a big construct. You could fit in that little.
is this a mech?
Maybe.
A big ass mech.
It's buried under where the road has
my
come
God.
up. It's buried
It's Voltron.
underneath, and you can just about make out like the body and like the head and stuff. But as you get closer, you can make out like where the whole body is, and you kind of work out like where the foot is and the actual size of it. This is a big creature.
Massive. Probably looks even bigger for her too.
Mhm.
It's so nice.
How do you want to
So-
investigate it?
I want to like kind of well, I'll roll investigation, I guess. Would it be an investigation check?
You can do an investigation if you want. There are some spells as well because we are using Cobalt Press stuff.
I hate it here.
There are some spells like analyze the cipher and stuff like that, which can give you more information.
I don't
An
have that
investigation. Okay.
prepared.
You're tinkering around with it. Roll me an Arcana.
Okay. Because I thought an Arcana would be appropriate as well.
You're tinkering around with it. there's a number of runes and mechanic symbol glyphs which perhaps would be charging this thing. It seems the power source is some kind of divine arcane it's still getting power from the arcane source, getting energy from the divine source, but the technology is far more advanced than anything that is capable in Yardcar. This is not something that your culture can do.
Okay. Who advanced for me right now? Please leave a message after the beep. Beep.
Alright. I think what 5 is going to do is he's just going to keep looking around. Just basically scanning the perimeter for enemies and all that stuff. Any movement, I guess.
You wouldn't.
If it...
You can roll me a survival. You wouldn't be
Okay.
seeing any movement or really hearing anything. It's definitely quiet. But there is the implication of presence previously. So let's see how the survival goes.
Sure.
Be free. Yeah, no, there is the implication of movement before. We're seeing some of the footprints. This creature close. You could very easily. However, this looks big. This looks bigger than this creature you're seeing on the floor. You're seeing a number very small, like chicken-sized creatures as well. It's pushing back. You remember the creatures you saw in the laboratory below, and it kind of together could be a swarm of maybe 6 dozen of these little chicken-like creatures scampering by. Seeing seeing more footprints. These are heavy set. These look mechanical. Going by others. They're going in a different direction. As well as unnatural formation. As if the rocks had been
Wow.
Am I able, like, I'm gonna scan the footprints and because again, I'm also being a data collector for potentially any future expeditions. So what I'm gonna do is I will essentially scan them and note them in my banks, basically, if that's a thing that I can do. So just take note of them.
okay.
So, I will alert the others. Can I tell the age of the footprints at all, or if they're new, fresh, something's heading toward us?
There doesn't seem to be anything immediately. It could be like a day old, or a few days, or maybe a week old. You know.
Either way, I am just going to keep watch and let the others do their things, what they need to. As we again figure out a game plan and stuff like that.
Oh, Fenris, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna get ready to set out in the world. I have a test detect poison and disease.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go over the machine and see if it's clean for people to work on it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're detecting for poisons and disease, you're going over for like any unnatural substance. It doesn't seem to be. And I'll say if you're doing that as well, it doesn't seem to be trapped. It doesn't seem like anything's like hiding, waiting, like it's using it as bait or anything like that. It seems clean, almost sterilized in the heat of the sun, you know?
Mm-hmm.
As Chew is like taking bits out, trying to understand how it works.
I'm gonna light up the equivalent of grass and just get, well, not light it, just like start chewing on it, like, you know, a farmer with those, and just kind of look over the field. I'm kind of just in a vigilant mood.
Yeah. It's natural grass. Yeah, it's natural grass. It has like a bit of a bitter taste, but yeah, everything seems
It's homegrown.
clear of disease and poison. Actually, do you want to run me a medicine?
Roll medicine.
Yeah.
Just a tick.
There's grass
18?
underground and it's always like dry or what. In fact, the civilization you from had to,
Mm-hmm.
you have very little sunlight. You had to rapidly come up with like the best fertilizer soil in order to keep up with the demands, you know?
Oh, that's gonna be a scary story for some kids.
You had to overcompensate with, because you have the lack of sunlight, you had to overcompensate with fertilizer.
Mm-hmm.
The grass here seems, because obviously you're missing like some other things. Yeah, it seems a little bit bitter, but you know like different tastes. Like you came from Butte, I think. So
Mm-hmm.
you know what, like different farming stuff. You know what, and it tastes fresh. It tastes weird, almost an irony taste to it, a little bit bitter. It's hard to put your finger on it exactly, but it almost has like a taste of blood to it.
Interesting. Like too much iron? Copper?
Something.
So,
Lucidius or Kitsune, if you two are free. What would either of you be doing?
So I am going to. The sun is out, yes.
The sun is out, yes.
Okay. So my eyes are probably not very used to the sunlight, and I think I would be having a pretty rough time, so I'm going to pull a. It's not another, like, death mask, but just, like, a normal, like, kind of theatrical performance mask. That was part of one of my costumes. I'm going to pull that out and put that on my face. So, like, you know, I've got, like, kind of a Harlequin mask on now. But I'm going to be like, staring kind of longingly at the water. And I just almost as if I'm like sort of drawn towards it, I'm just gonna start like making my way over closer to it. I would like to touch the water.
Okay.
Touch water. From the people who brought you touch grass.
This is a little bit away, so you're walking into the buildings. Everyone else would kind of get an idea that one of your team members is heading off on their own. You haven't said
God.
anything to anyone?
Do we just hear someone randomly
No.
disconnect from our?
You're not mentioning anything? That's how I like it.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
I'm just going.
So
Get a Discord
it's-
ping when he leaves.
Chew,
So
you're in the
it's
middle
like-
of stuff. Everyone would clock on. 5, you're in protecting, but like one person's going one way, one person's going another way. Is anyone? I mean,
I said I was in a
vigil.
vigilant mood, which was kind of like I'm just watching the group and making sure we're staying safe.
I'm stationed out, and I'm just making sure like no one wanders in, no one wanders off. You know, basically being the protective parent of the group right now. So, you know, all that stuff, analyzing footprints, trying to get everything settled, making sure my top priority is making sure the group is
Whoops.
safe.
Sorry, I did not mean to cast that on Rule 20. I was trying to look at the description of it. Ignore that.
As you start heading your way down to the water, it's between some buildings. So you're going down an alley. There seems to be like pipes connecting the two with vines heading all the way down with you can roll me a survival, actually. A lot of this you haven't seen before.
Give me 1 second. It's an okay roll.
As you get a bit closer and heading down these buildings, connecting roof to roof, there seems to be most man-made structures. Bits of wood, vines, doing something similar to a bridge, but in a very specific way where this couldn't have been grown. No, clearly stuff has been constructed and tied together.
Interesting.
You know where your party are. See them. Going any further, they're out of sight. You're going?
I think Lycidius is going to stop and like take a closer look at the structure. And can I do like investigation check?
Okay, you can do investigation.
That's really low despite my modifier.
That's good. Above average at least. You are seeing there has been movement through here.
6 on.
It seems the buildings around here, you don't have like brick and mortar down below, but you're like touching the wall. Like old cemented walls and stuff would just crumble away at your hands. Plants have fully grown over. This must have been like this for at least like 1,000 years, maybe even further back. But this is a long depreciation. There are very clearly tracks going through. Some of big creatures, and you're looking at like the pathways through, and they don't seem disturbed. So either this big creature was very nimble, or was purposely moving through as not to disrupt building.
Mhm.
You do
Interesting.
happen a bit further. You're seeing a few more buildings further up. It's large, what looks like maybe a library, with pillars standing up as there's like a staircase leading all the way up. Pillars connecting to the roof. It's a very grand building. Straight ahead, you do see an ocean, big body of water in front of you. It's blue and crystalline, like a liquid glass. Something like this, something as pure as this, you've hard to really explain. But it goes on. As far as you can see curvature of the planet, or maybe a way for you to the other end. With little sticks, just tops of buildings, as it seems this city, this ocean had come in and swallowed up a portion of the city.
Just like completely enraptured by the view, and is there any way for me to like get down to like touch the surface of the water?
Yeah. You are leaving your party behind you.
Yes.
Okay. You would all at this point notice a party member has gone. Fenris, because you were staying vigilant as well, he went, stopped as far as he could see, and you see him continue. Annette, you see the beach. Is there anything you would like?
No.
Okay.
Well, would I notice Grimm's character walking
I will be
off?
back later.
Okay. Sorry, what were you saying?
Would I notice Grimm's character walking off as well? Because I was analyzing and taking data and notes and just, being a sentry the whole time as well.
Yeah, you would have been doing all that. I'm guessing Fenris would have just been closer and saw him kind of go off, stop, think about it, then go. You definitely would have seen a party member walk off and just go.
I apologize, what was that?
You would have seen someone go. Fenris would have seen them go, stop, think about it, and then go the rest of the way.
I will alert Cass's character and Kitsune's character, and again, sort of say in like my very protocol monotone voice, like, it appears we are being left behind. Please come with me.
God.
And I pick up Shu, if I'm remembering correctly, and put her back on my shoulder, and wave Kitsune's character over as well, and start walking.
I feel like we should put our names in the chat since we don't see each other's names right now.
You can set your character role
Nickname.
as yeah.
Yeah, true. Because
Yeah, I'm getting used to the name.
Yeah, I'm trying to get used to them as well. I'm horrible with like remembering names, especially without faces.
Lucidius, as you're heading up, and I'm guessing everyone else is slowly
There we
following
go.
behind. Hey, you right? Everyone's following behind. You see there's this plain open, maybe about the size of like a small football field. And
I just pop my back.
it looks like the ground itself had moved, shifted. There's blood, the floor splattered, but no bodies. You're seeing some scrap metal and cogs all over the place. This is directly in front of where the ocean.
Did I do?
Well, Lucidius is a bit ahead. What are you gonna do? This scene is in front of, it's between you and the ocean. If you want to get to the ocean, you go around or you go over.
I look at the scene in front of me and I recognize that if there's blood and scrap remains, it probably means that something happened there. And I don't have enough information to know for sure if that something could happen again. So I, as like stealthily as I can, which admittedly may not be that stealthy because I have pretty low dex. I just try and like sneak around the perimeter of this area. Do not stop to like do an investigation check or anything. I just attempt to stealth.
Okay. You can roll a stealth then.
Oh.
As you're stealthing around, you're not disturbing the area, nothing. Ive and the rest of the gang would be kind of going to the very front of this battlefield, basically. What did you want to do, Fight?
I was going to check the purity of the water, because again, what time is it? Like, how high is the sun? I know I might need to roll survival, but
At this point, it would probably be going down.
I'm going to make the, like, again, mental suggestion across the party. It is sunset. We should probably consider setting up camp soon.
Because of if you want to set up camp, that'd be good. You have lived on the ground for a while, so you're all pretty used to the dark vision. That probably wouldn't bother you all too much. Your body clocks are probably set to something a bit different. So this is almost the start of your day, if you know what I mean.
Okay. My bad, my mistake. But yes, in that case, I will check the purity of the ocean water again, doing a survival check and all that stuff, like putting my hand. I'm assuming my hands are sensors. So let us.
Yeah, why
get
not?
My sheet going.
That makes sense. You're a robot.
I'm a robot.
Put your hand in, and you sense like a weird, abnormal amount of salt.
It's a 20.
You have water underground, like very little amount, but this is a crazy amount of salt. If you were to drink this, you could die.
And I'm gonna telegraph that over to the party. I would not suggest setting up the settlement here. The water is too salty for crops or for drinking. I suggest we move on, unless if we would like to use fire and purify it.
Would Lycidius have heard that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to...
You're all, as far as hearing things, say, Kitsune has a thing, so you'd all be kind of hearing each other.
Or mind melded at the moment.
I'm gonna kind of like glance back over my shoulder at the party in the distance and like
That was not good.
kind of glare like I. Oh, someone drop.
Oh, I think it was just I saw
Oh.
a keyboard go.
Is everything okay?
I think so.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
yes. Anyways, I'm going to kind of like glare back at the party and like I understand like what he's saying about the water, but I still want to like experience it for myself. So I continue sneaking towards the water with the intent of tasting it. Not drinking it, just tasting it.
I mean, it tastes salty.
Is it so? Why is it spicy?
There's this sense that something that's salty can only harbor creatures of evil,
Like a shark?
like sharks.
Would I know what a shark is?
No.
No.
Only in your nightmare. uh,
God, you really hate sharks.
Sidious has nightmares about like mundane things.
Like federal tax evasion.
Yeah, he has nightmares about paying his taxes. No, I think he would be very confused by like how salty the water is because it's so different from like I assume the water we had wasn't great quality, but it was still different. And he just kind of like spends a moment like staring at the surface of the water before like deciding that he's done with the new experiment or new experience and turning back to walk towards the party.
okay, that's it. You just wanted to taste it?
Yeah.
Okay. So once again, you turn to face. There is this battlefield between Lucidius and the rest of you. There is blood on the floor, gears and scrap metal scattered around, like arms of creatures. You're probably actually seeing like a whole body as well. And
Love that.
most notably, my Batman voice slipped out. Most notably, the earth itself seems to have shifted. It looks as if, like in those.
Wait, did it shift now?
No.
Like,
it looks like
or
it had
did it
shifted.
shift like?
Like in 3D engines, whatever, where you like make a landscape and then you just grab the drag tool and you just pull and like the whole it just stretches the world.
Like
Well,
an earth.
Yeah, or like
So does it
in
look like
Sims,
there was
when
a?
you build up like straight up and you just build the landscape up and up and up and up, and it looks unnatural.
Hold on, I need to refresh Roll20. Roll20 is acting really fucking weird. So does it looks like there was like evidence of like a major? We should know what an earthquake is.
You
Like
would know what
we
an
live in the
earthquake
earth.
is, yeah.
So it looks like there was evidence of a major earthquake.
You did see the same kind of thing before as well. It doesn't seem like an earthquake, it seems like a section of the land had shifted.
Oh. Like something pushed it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like there was a fault line there or anything.
Yeah, but there isn't like a hole for something to come out of or anything like that. The earth, it seems unnaturally stretched. But there are one of these bodies as well on the floor. Let me pull up a picture. You would be probably seeing a few of these. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . .
Huh.
Neat.
Are they dead?
They don't seem to be moving, no.
All right. Checking it for parts.
There's a lot of gears and
I
scraps
am-
like that.
I am very much behind
Oh.
Chew as like just in case if these things come alive, I can instantly crush them. Just in case.
So, Chew, what are you looking for?
Looking for what makes this thing tick, you know? If this thing is salvageable, if not, then let me take its parts.
So, once again, as you open it up, the face comes open. And you can see the inner workings of its head. It's very well preserved, weirdly. As you take the face mask off, you can see what like makes up like the brain behind it. Go around inside, it's arcane work, but you just about figure it out. It seems to be acting on a command or order, just a reoccurring one, again and again. Can't quite decipher it, but something, a command, a single order is keeping this thing going. Because normally with familiars and stuff like this,
Oh, it's still alive?
no, but like if with animatronics and stuff like that, constructs, they are given an order. When that runs out, they tick out. So there's an order this one was given that hasn't quite come to fruition, and that's what was keeping its mind going and giving it purpose and action. You open up the chest, it seems to just be cogs. It's a very clockwork looking machine. There does seem to be a core inside.
And there's no way to revive this thing? Does it look like beyond repair?
It's hard to tell what like struck this thing down. Maybe it was just like the impact or something like that, like something got jangled. You could do a tinker's tools. You have your Mouska tool.
Basket tool.
You do that. Proficiency with tinker's tools with X, like, or
Would it be intelligence?
Intelligence, because you're trying to work it out.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I'm gonna use the Tinker's Tool proficiency that I already have in here, and then I add the +3 from the thing.
23.
Well, no, I put it in there already. So
Oh, you put it in there already?
hold on. I'm proficient in it using intelligence. So 9. Yeah. Yeah.
As you're going through and tinkering through, there does seem to be a way to bring this thing back. There seems to be a lot of damage to this thing. Just give me a general history.
Interesting. Is there any way I could take out so could I repair him or is he beyond?
Give me a history.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, Mom?
When she comes back, I can tell you all for sure. There does seem.
I'm here.
Hello. While Cass is away,
Okay, hold on.
Cass. with the crit investigation, you've undone this thing. Looked into its brain. It's working on a single command which hasn't completed yet. That's what's keeping it going, and perhaps the other one that you saw before as well. Tinker's
May I?
tools you went through. It does seem like you can bring this thing back to life. With the history, it seems this thing has been constructed and reconstructed and put back together again many times. These parts are old.
Yeesh. May I make an Arcana check to see if we could sort of, quote unquote, reprogram this thing with like reprogram its command?
Yeah, you can try.
Sorry, I'm
You're probing around inside the head. It seems what the command it's commanded with is intrinsically linked to it. If you remove that, it's gonna have to be fully done back. It's gonna lose everything it is, and you're basically just going from fresh. Is it just that you're looking for like the disposable NPC? If you remove the command, it's going to lose its memories. You probably wouldn't be able to probe it for answers.
I mean, yeah, disposable NPC, let's go.
Okay. It'll take some time, possible.
Fuck yeah.
Trinette, is there anything you would like to do? If I left you out. There is a beach right in front of you.
I don't know what we are doing.
Me too.
You all went
we head
forward.
into the city.
You're in the city, went over to the beach. It's salt water, go figure. There's a robot on the floor. It's a cool looking guy. Maybe a friend.
Can I cast under a smite to give it a jolt start?
You can try, it might damage it. It does seem like it's very intricate clockwork inside.
It was a joke, but yeah.
I mean, so this is basically in front of you is a battlefield.
I just ran off to play in the water like a little child.
Okay. Are you on your mech? On your droid? Or are you just jumping in?
Drone.
The drone kind of
The
goes
big
in.
robo tank is in the water. I love it.
It like puts up the legs like a little floaty. And it's
Just
like,
running around.
it's kind of like a raft, you know, like, and you can run on the ground, skipping through the water pretty happily. And I mean, like, you'd all see this, like, what is undisturbed? And this is probably some of the concrete, like, sticking around starts moving and stuff. Naturally quiet.
As soon as like she starts like splashing around in the water, I turn, remembering that, oh no, these little things are attracted to sound mainly, and she's splashing around in the water. I'm just like in slow motion, like as she's going towards the water. No.
Oh, do you think the water's poison?
Oh, I already did it. I already ran a test on it. It's via my sensors. It's basically more salty ocean water.
Oh, I mean, to us, it's naturally salty water, but you just don't have salt water.
So, it's like you've tested it as not safe, to drink.
It's not safe to drink, but it's okay for wreck, which is what she's doing right now. But my biggest fear is right now, these monsters are smart and they're attracted to sound vibrations. And we're making a lot of noise right now, so...
Wait, okay, so the monsters
I
are
turn
pretty
around and
big.
cause a mini tidal wave at the group by accident.
Like a rider on like a big hippo or boar or something, like this big walking machine that just kind of tidal waves.
Okay. Question. Cause what I'm thinking here is that like for these monsters, these previous monsters, like you know how there are no bears in the city?
Mhm.
Because like they don't really like
sound? Or anything like
they like yeah, just like and they're kind of like too like bigger, but there's like you know rats and
There's some bears.
stuff. But I'm saying okay, here's like normally in a city that's not you know like this, there are no bears in it.
Well, barely.
Right. Val, please. But okay, so my whole thing is, are these creatures so big that they look like they would be in the plains?
What?
Like, the size of the creature would be able to fit comfortably through this? Like, go through the labyrinth of a city?
The creature you saw in basically the sewers below was about 30 feet high. The creatures you saw in the lab were tiny, like a chicken sized. You know the
okay.
one in the sewer could go invisible. You don't know about the small ones, but they basically range in size from that size to that size.
Okay. Uh-huh.
I'm blinking and looking at the robot 5 for remembering to be quiet, and I stop moving.
Oh.
Okay.
So your character's coming back to shore, essentially.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Alrighty then.
So we've gone for 3 hours at this point. Do we all feel like we're coming to an end?
I think this would be a
Yeah.
good stopping point.
There's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
As we're pulling away from this scene here, none of you realize that you're being watched. As going back, small mammalian but insectoid, so we can assume pack hunters, but predators nonetheless. And you've never seen a world like this on the surface. I've never seen you. And as much as you sussing out the location, learning what an ocean is, they're understanding you all. The two that stood and protect, the one that jumped in and investigated, the one jumping in the water, and the one that walked away. Where are we going to end off?
Boy, I do love being watched.
Hey.
Oops, I've dropped my Magnum Bible that I use for my Magnum faith.
Oh no, step monster, I'm stuck in this machine.
Cash, you would like that. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. kid. Anyway, if that is it, I am a very busy man. I have to get going. I need to be elsewhere. I apologize.
Me
You've
too.
all been great.
I need
And
to
yeah,
eat something.
Have a great day.
Yep.
DMing is so fucking hard work. I forgot how fucking on it you have to be.
Was this your first time back in the
Yeah.
saddle after a while?
My first time was Monday, but this is like the first time doing. That was a pre-written adventure. It was space elves
This is-
firing their space dick
I can
spaceships
tell.
into into the
You
planet.
sound exhausted, Val. You need a
It's
hug.
wild.
I mean, he was up when I was streaming Yakuza 12 hours ago.
Oh my god.
And started an art stream when I left. I went to sleep. It's now midnight his time. He's probably just
You
tired
want to
as
go to
shit.
bed, Val?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed.
Good night.
Thank you
time-
for an awesome first session, though.
I had a lot of fun. You guys are fun.
Kaz, I have been
Yeah.
looking forward to playing some D&D with you for a hot minute. Because I know we're on the out,
I'm-
we're in the outer fringe groups, you know, like our overlap's pretty similar, but
Thanks
we're always
again.
just on the opposite sides.
Thank you.
And Kits, it's
Yeah.
always a pleasure
Yeah,
DM
we're-
playing D&D
yeah.
with you.
Oh, thank you.
So, Wild, you need to send me like visual descriptions and
I
or
am
references.
so fucking
for-
sorry on my end.
Okay.
I
wasn't
a little
gonna, like-
TLDR. I got a friend who's got out of the hospital recently, and I've been helping take care of them.
Oh, no worries.
So it's
Yeah, no worries. Just
Do you need any more description for mine? Because I feel like I did.
Oh, I got yours.
I got the description figured out, like I said in the session. I'll just write it down and then add any details. I remember the descriptors you added. If there's anything I forgot, I'll make sure to add them too.
You know,
I'm just
Cass,
quickly
let
gonna end
me
stream
grab-
here. I don't
Yeah.
have. There isn't a raid function, I think, on YouTube Live, so I'm just gonna end it here. But I hope everyone had a
Yeah.
really good time.
oh yeah, no, this is
Yeah.
really fun.
I've kind of changed up my DMing style. I spoke with Dusk about this, where I watched a lot of Critical Role when doing the last campaign, and I was very much in that Matt Mercer mindset. But
Like
now
they have to be Matt Mercer. Like
Yeah.
Thanks. Who do you guys think we should raid?
I can't raid anyone on YouTube Live.
oh wait,
No,
no,
on
for
Kitsune
Kit.
stream.
I gotta. This is kind of me being selfish, but I have a boy